Good morning, everybody. It's been quite a little while since I have been able to make a video, so I'm really excited to come on today and to work on a sketch for y'all. So this one we are doing for January 2023's Mix It Up Monday. And for today's sketch, which you saw just a little bit ago on my opening credits here, is a sketch from Lottie Loves Paper. So for this sketch, what I decided to use today was my Simple Vintage Cottage Fields collection. I've used this one a couple of times already, but during the Black Friday sales, I was able to get like a whole nother collection of this. And so I have quite a bit, as you can see, of it to use. So I thought that I would start with using this up today. I'm going to scrap this old picture of when we adopted our dog Izzy. It was a picture that my husband and I took with our two dogs Fiona and Izzy for her adoption announcement from the rescue. So I'm gonna scrap that photo today. And so since it is Mix It Up Monday, we do use mixed media. So I have pulled out a few of my Shimmers paints to use on this layout. I just tried to pick ones that had the same basic color scheme as is in this collection. And so I picked out Jenny B Blue, which is a Vibes from Shimmers Paints. I picked out a Shimmers, which is the original Shimmers that you don't have to add water to. And that's in Bumblebee Bee, that's for the yellow tone. And then an Inklings, which you do add water to, in She Packs a Punch from Shimmers as well. And I thought that those went really well. So for my mixed media, I will be using any of these colors. I might use all three. I might just use one or two. So we'll see how I'm feeling once I get there and get ready to go. All right, so with this collection, I have 3 different washi that I'm going to try to incorporate in it. I don't know if I will do all 3, but I'm going to see if I can, because I'm not very good at using up washi. And with my kit, I ended up getting 3 of these. So I'd like to try to use those. And I have these really pretty ones, this black and pink polka dot, this pretty floral, and then all of these pretty butterflies on kind of like an off-white background. And I just think they're really pretty and I'd like to try to use them. So for as far as the papers that I picked out, obviously I'm going to try and use some from the sticker sheet. I have these scraps from a layout I did previously, and let me see, there's 3 of them that I had cut out of previously. All right, these 3. So I want to try to, since this sketch has strips of paper, I figured why not use ones I've already cut into. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use these pretty butterflies and florals. On the back, I won't be using that because that is the 2x2 cut apart. So I won't be using the back of that. We'll use the front. I really liked these pretty blue, this blue background with the pretty butterflies on it. So I'll use this. And then on the back, I could cut out some of this nice orangey with the wording on it too. I think that'd be really pretty. This one is the black with white dots, but it has, you know, like some mixed media and some print on the underside. And then on the back of this, maybe I might be able to pull like some of this too. We'll see how I feel about it. As for full sheets that haven't been cut into yet, I really like these pretty butterflies, so I'll use some of those. And then the back is this nice yellow with like the fern prints and then the dragonflies and butterflies, which would be really pretty to cut out too. So that one we could use as a stripe. And then I really liked this as well for one of my lighter stripes. The back is cut apart, so we won't be using the back of that. So that's kind of my plan for papers. It's going to be on top of a piece of white basil cardstock, which is textured, but that's going to be my base. And then as far as embellishments go, I'm not going to take these all out. I did pick out a frame that I have an idea for what I want to do with this frame. So I've got the frame to use. I've got the bits and pieces from the Cottage Fields collection. I have both the layered stickers and the decorative brads that we can use for embellishing. I have the sticker book, which it's got these great, like these, which I could use for one of the stripes too. I also have tickets on the sticker sheet, which I could use for the stripes. So that's an idea. I have puffy stickers, which I will probably take one of these titles. for this. I was kind of thinking of, there's several of them I kind of liked. So I'll pick that once I get to the end there. And then I also have the chipboard stickers. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera and I'm gonna cut all my strips up and get them kind of organized how I want them to be on the page. And then I will come back and show you like kind of the basic layout and get those things all tacked down. So I will be back in just a minute. Okay, so while I was out and kind of trying to figure out how I wanted to trim up my papers, I came across this stencil, this Simple Stories stencil that I had just gotten from Tuesday morning. And I decided that I thought that it would be really cute to just use some molding paste and then have these white on white with the stencil in kind of the corners of the layout, just kind of peeking out like I might do just some die cuts or, you know, some greenery on a normal layout, but I would just use the molding paste and just do kind of a white on white textured background. And so that's what you see me doing here. I'm just pushing the molding paste through the stencil. I'm trying to do as thin of a layer as I can. And I'm also highlighting kind of that long sprig of greenery in there and just following that along so that I don't get the boxy feel of the stencil. And off camera, I do wipe off a few places where I just felt like it gave like this, just these little tiny bits of the stencil that I really didn't need. So I didn't make you watch me do that, but I did wipe off a few little sections where I just felt like I didn't need those little parts. But you see me here just kind of trying to get the extra off, because while I do like the texture that the texture paste gives you, I don't want it to be, you know, like crazy. So as you saw in that little bit there, you could see that I've kind of arranged my paper strips that I cut out, and I only tacked them down right in the middle just in case I need to move them. So they're not completely tacked down yet. What I decided to do with the frame, as you can see me doing here, is I decided to make that into quite a large shaker pocket. And so I just attached some acetate that I got from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And now I'm using the Big Mama foam tape that from Spiegel Mom Scraps as well. Around the acetate there. And then I'm going to use two different sequin mixes from Spiegel Mom Scraps. One is Vintage Garden, and it has all of the pretty pinks. That's what I'm putting in right now, and greens and everything that is in this collection. And then I'm going to use also Tranquil Garden. But what you don't see me do as I do it off camera is I picked out every single piece of the dark blue, because I don't have anything like that in this layout. That color scheme is not in there, so I picked them all out. And so I'm going to put that right about there, that shaker pocket, and I'm going to position my photo kind of partway over it so that you can just see the sequins peeking out in the back there. So it is going to be mostly like that, and I'm just kind of testing it out now just to make sure that I like how it looks. And now I'm going to go ahead and I am going to tack down all of these strips with some liquid glue. It's just Scotch tacky glue is what I use inside my fine liner bottle. And I'm not going all the way to the edges because I do curl up the edges just a little bit in the end just to give it some more dimension. But I'm going to go ahead and glue all of those down because I do like the placement of them. There we go, all the way down. I didn't make you watch all of it. So now I'm going to reposition my photo, make sure that that is where I want it. And then, yeah, had a little something on there, so I'm just getting it off my photo. I do like how it's kind of cockeyed on there. I just think it adds some interest to the page. And then I'm going to mount it on this really pretty paper from the same collection. I really loved the watercolor look in the background of this and how you could get like just little sneak peeks of the colors, while also having that mixed media look with the text and everything in the background. I love that paper. I think it's really, really pretty. And I'm glad I have enough left that I can use it on another layout. So I'm going to go ahead and map my photo in just that. It gives me just a little bit more of a white border and then just a little bit of color peeking out, and I'm scuffing up the edges there, just like I did with all of the strips. I went ahead and scuffed those. I don't think I told you that, but I scuffed those as well before I put them down. I tend to really like that, the scuffed up look. It's very hard for me to leave anything with a straight edge. It feels unfinished to me, just because I prefer the scuffed edges, but I know a lot of people really like the clean look of the straight edges as well. So you could do this either way. It just really depends on your own style and, you know, what you want to portray in your layout. So there we go. I've got the photo down onto the shaker pocket that I made out of the frame. And then now I'm going to start to go through all of the embellishments that I have here. And first and foremost, I want to find a title because I like to work around the title most of the time. And I did decide to use one of those puffy titles, and I'm going to use Dream Big. And the reason for that is, like I said before, this photo is of when we adopted our second dog, Izzy, and she was a dog that was rescued from the streets and did not live in very good conditions. So I thought that that title was pretty apt for her situation. You know, dream big, hopefully live a better life. And I think she has at that point. So I like the title in the same spot that they showed it in the sketch, which is right kind of along the bottom edge there of the photo. So because I like that placement, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tack down the shaker pocket with my photo on it so that all of that will be set, and then I will work around all of these set pieces with my embellishments here in just a moment. Just kind of pressing that down a little bit to get the glue to stick. It takes a minute usually. So here I'm going through the ephemera pack just to kind of figure out what I might like. I played around with these flowers for a minute thinking that would be really pretty, but not really liking how it looked against the strips of paper. It just felt too busy to have those big florals. So I'm looking through and I'm trying to find something a little different, you know, not just my normal like big florals. Although I do use these two florals on the bottom, I felt like they didn't really take anything away from the idea there, so I decided to put them on the bottom. And I do like the butterflies, so I will use some of those. I especially love the tickets. All the stuff that comes with the Simple Vintage kits, I just really adore the tickets and the tags and all of the things that they have in there that are kind of common with the Simple Vintage kits from Simple Stories. I just really, really love those. So here's the tickets. I'm going to arrange them over here on the left-hand side in that bottom cluster, just coming off the edge there. And I think they go along really well, and I think they're really pretty there. So I'm just going ahead and building my clusters with all of the ephemera that I happen to get from this kit. And like y'all saw at the beginning, I have ephemera packs, I have layered stickers, I have chipboard, just almost everything that you could get with this kit I have managed to collect here over the last several months. And I think it's just a really, really pretty kit and a really versatile kit that you could use for pretty much anything. I think it has a really springy vibe to it, but you certainly don't have to use it for spring photos. It can literally just be family photos. It could be scenery photos, summer. You could even use this for winter stuff if you wanted to. You know, I'm kind of, you know, there are some kits that are very, very themed, you know, when you have snowflakes and you have things and you're like, okay, I kind of have to use these during the winter seasons. But these ones with flowers, I personally don't really feel like I have to limit myself to only summer and spring photos when I have flowers. That could be because I live in Texas and I have flowers almost year round. So maybe it's a little, you know, geographical here. But for me, I find that I like to use them at any point. So I'm going back after putting in all of the ephemera. And at this point, I have that ephemera all tacked down. I'm going back to the foam titles page, and I'm just pulling off a few of those foam hearts and placing them around the clusters just to kind of fill them out. And here I have those adhesive brads. I love, love, love these adhesive brads. They're so shiny, and they give you just that hint of metallic as well. So I'm putting a few of these around on the page too. I just love how it adds that shiny effect to it. And I don't know, they just seem just so cool and vintagey, even though they're really not. So I'm just adding a few of those. And let's see what I get into now. Oh, the sticker book. So I do go into the sticker book, and this sketch had all of these, the journaling at the bottom. So I'm going to use a few of these strips. Sorry, that was my dog. She's decided she wants to join in. So I used a few of these strips along the bottom. You are going to see me put them all in because I attached them as I was going. A lot of times I'll kind of dry fit, but because these were stickers, I decided to mount them on their foam right there as I was picking them out. So sorry, y'all have to kind of watch all of them because I pick them all out. The first one I've got is yellow, and it reads The Good Life, and it's almost like it's a piece of washi tape, so it just repeats that phrase, the good life, the good life, the good life, all the way across the sticker. The next one I'm choosing is black, and it says So Beautiful, and it's the same concept. It just looks like a piece of washi tape. So Beautiful is repeated along the length of the strip. And I love how the black contrast. We do have black in this paper, but there's very little of it. But I liked using this here because not only did it kind of bring out the little bit of black that's in the paper, but it also, both of my dogs are black. So I enjoyed how that kind of played off from their color as well, and kind of helped them to stand out in the photograph that we have there. The next one I pick out is a long pink one. Again, just like the washi look, it says Hello Lovely on it all the way across. And it's in that pretty pink that's the same color as the title. So I thought that it helped bring that out a little bit more. And it's the same pink as the little tab at the tag up at the top that reads Oh Happy Day. That's kind of tucked underneath the corner of the photo. And I like that it brings out that pink because it's kind of that bolder pink that's coming through. And there's a lot of the lighter pink throughout with the flowers and such, but not that bolder pink. And I like that we get a little bit of a play on that color. All right, so I have one last one, and this one is not a washi tape. It's just a title, like a secondary title, and it just says Cherish the Little Things in Life, and it's in kind of the more minty color, the minty green color that is kind of prevalent throughout this Simple Vintage kit. And I think it really plays on that top butterfly. It's that same color. So I think that worked out pretty well. And I think it does a good job of mimicking the journaling that was in the original sketch. So here I remembered I wanted to put in this little piece of chipboard, and it just looks like a stamp. And so I'm going to put it in that bottom left-hand side cluster, just kind of layer him in there. And I like the dimension that it provides. At the end here, I am going to go ahead and put in my shimmers. Just a little bit of sprinkles here and there, kind of where they showed them on the sketch, which would be up in the upper right-hand corner where we mostly just have that, the molding paste that I did through the stencil. And then down on the lower left-hand side, again, where that stencil is. So I am using She Packs a Punch Inklings from Shimmer's Paints right now. That is a pinky color. So it's really, really pretty pink, and it really matches that pink that is on the title. So when I was trying to color match, I just kind of held those up to the titles and the papers, and that was the closest one I had, but it was a really, really nice match in the end. So I'm going ahead and I'm doing the pink. I'm trying not to get too heavy on the splatters because I wanted to use a couple of colors, so I didn't want to go crazy. The second color that I am using is a Shimmers, and it is in Bumblebee Bee. So Shimmers paints come with the water, the liquid already in it, but mine kind of dried up. So I had to add a little bit of water. So that's just a little tip of something you can do if your original Shimmers starts to dry up. You can add a little bit of water and mix it up, and you will still be able to use it for splatters. I'm not sure how well it would work like if you're trying to paint something though, but you can still use it for splatters if it dries up. So I believe that I'm done. I'm just adjusting my camera here because I didn't realize I was so close in, and now we got a little bit of close-ups here of all of the splatters I just did and the secondary titles and all of the clusters. I hope y'all enjoyed this layout. Please make sure that you go to the hashtag so that you can see the rest of the layouts that people are doing for this month's Mix It Up Monday. And I hope y'all found some inspiration here, and you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.